What's up guys, welcome to Blake's Garage. So today we got Thomas back with that cool Crosstrek. So we're gonna pull it in here, we're gonna do a couple more things to it. Looks so good. Oh yeah. So as you can see, he did take the rack off of the car for now. But look at all the freaking clearance. Thing is a beast. It's awesome. So Thomas, you're back.
I am back.
What are we doing today?
We're gonna throw on some Mudflaps. They are the Rock Blocks Mudflaps specifically for the 18 because the 13 to 17 does not fit with the new global platform. So we're gonna throw those on. They seem pretty nice. It's not like the super flexible polyurethane like the Rally Armor, but it's also more flexible than the hard plastic Rally Armor, so a nice in between. So it should be nice.
Nice. Yeah, I remember the Rock Blocks are pretty solid, like compared to the Rally Armor type stuff, yeah, right? Absolutely. Rally Armor flops around a lot, but if you guys remember on my WRX, I actually had an issue where my Rally Armor, which, you know what, I think I might even still have those, so let me go check real quick, because if anybody wants to buy those, let me know. But one of the rubber pieces kind of warped a little bit. It was either from the sun or from the heat of the downpipe. I'm not really sure. So yeah, guys, I actually do have these for the 2014 Subaru WRX. DM me on Instagram if you guys want those. I'll sell them to you for a good price. And I still have a couple things for my WRX, so yeah, just let me know. All right, so everyone was asking after the last video, I'll put a little eye up here in the corner where we actually show where we lifted this car up. It looks freaking awesome. I know it rides amazing now. It's like a boat. Yeah, a high boat. But everyone was asking last time about your roof rack situation, which you guys can see right now. He does not have it on there. Yeah. And why is that?
Took it off for daily driving. This is my new daily driver. And when I had the rack on top of it, I also had the snowboard attachment on top of it. And all that wind resistance and drag, I've got hit by like 8 to 10 miles per gallon difference. So I took it off. I'm not gonna drive it on the daily, but when I need it, go camping, like venture out in the middle of nowhere, I'll throw it on. But it's just the Yakima Load Warrior, and I took the black fairing off the front that it comes with, and I made one out of clear plexiglass, and then I mounted a 32-inch LED bar in the front of the basket behind the plexiglass. So I still have the functionality of the light, but it's also protected from rocks a little bit more from the rain, moisture, whatever, and it's been great. I originally set it up on my fiance's Kia Sorento, and I knew that I was going to be getting a Crosstrek later on this year, and so I set it up with weather pack connectors so I can plug it into her car and unplug it, take it off, throw it on my car, and do the same thing. Nice. So
yeah, weather packs are where it's at for sure. Like, absolutely. If you're going to do electrical connections, do them right. And yeah, it looked really awesome up here, but yeah, 10 miles to the gallon. That's not worth it. Oh, and it almost wouldn't fit in my garage either. I would have to lift it up too. So there's that as well. And the plastic thing, you just got what, like Taps Plastics or something?
I have a bunch of sheets of plexiglass in my house, varying thicknesses, and I think I used probably like an 1/8 inch thick, and I just traced out the original fairing and cut it out.
Cool. Yeah, I know. That's just an easy way to do it. I mean, those fairings cost like what, 60 to 80 to $100, like depending. And usually it's not really even the design that you want. So making it yourself is always just a really cool idea. And then everyone can ask, where'd you get that? And you say, I made it. I made it. Yeah.
Just search Craigslist. There, plexiglass is on there all the time. It's fairly cheap, and if they have a lot of random assortment pieces, just check it out and find something with the length and width that would cover what you need. Because
you guys like seeing more Crosstrek stuff, we're gonna show you a couple things that Thomas did to the car real quick.
So I put in this pack of switches. It's called an S-Tech system. I got it from Tech Team Off-Road. They're based out in Colorado. I've always had accessory switches here and there in previous cars. You know, you'll have like one over here, one down here, and I didn't like that. I just wanted to clean, simple, everything in one location. So I bought this system. You have a power distribution block in the engine bay and one lead of wires that comes up to these switches. So now when I have an extra accessory, I run the power to it straight to that block, and then everything's good to go from here.
Yeah, that's
dual LED.
Cool. Yeah, that's really nice. You can hit your airbags right here for your compressor, you know. when you want to drop the Crosstrek. No, that's not. That doesn't work. But you got your lights, your LED lights, LED light bar. So you're gonna hook those ones up on the back, you were saying?
Yeah.
Is that gonna go to one of those?
Yep, that'll go to rear lights.
Cool.
So I can flip those on and off as I want. I have it directly to the battery, so all of these will turn on even without the car on. And all of those would work fine except for the compressor. I'll probably only run that when the car's running.
Nice.
But yeah, simple.
You haven't had any issues yet with it like draining the battery or anything?
Nope.
So does those LEDs stay on constantly, or that's on key for that
Those,
LED?
the bottom ones are on key.
Okay.
And then it will go off.
One of the, yeah, there
But
you go.
these still all have power to actually run the accessory when I need it.
Gotcha. And I didn't see your new shift knob. That's cool.
Yeah, custom made by BDR Fabrication, located in Santa Cruz, California. They were one of the sponsors for the Bay Area meet, BAM 2017, and I won a custom shift knob from them.
Awesome.
So hit them up with what I wanted. They made it exactly and sent it out to me, and I've been rocking it for probably a couple weeks now. It's been really nice.
That's super cool. Yeah, and it's a little taller too, which is nice.
Yeah.
Sweet. All right, so I guess we're gonna jump out. We're gonna go ahead and slap these mud flaps on this thing and show you guys how this works on the 2018 Crosstrek. So this is what you get in the kit. You get hardware for the front, mounting hardware, screws, and some clips. You get the mounting hardware for the rear. It's pretty straightforward. This looks very similar to the Rally Armor stuff. These are the actual mud flaps themselves. They're laser cut out. You can kind of see it around the edges. They also say like 2018 Crosstrek on them, and they get the RB embossed in them as well. I just wanted to show you a comparison of the Rally Armor mud flaps. So these are the Rally Armor ones that I had for my 14 WRX before I sold the car. And you can see how floppy and bendy those are. There's the rock blocks right there. So they are bendable, but you can see they're like a lot more solid. Whereas compared to the Rally Armor, a lot more floppy. So you'll actually see like on a Rally Armor mud flap, when you're flying down the freeway, these do get a bit of like wind resistance, and they will kind of flap around. I kind of remember having like a certain mile per hour where these would make sort of a funny noise because they'd just be flopping in the wind. I could see that kind of happening a lot less with these. These are also a lot more solid. However, I do feel like this is a less expensive material right here that they're made of compared to the Rally Armor mud flap. So, you know, just kind of something to keep in mind on picking out your mud flaps. They all do the same thing, but there is a bit of difference. Also, the biggest difference is these probably cost a lot more than these. A company sent these to me in the mail the other day, some new gloves. When working on cars, I always like to use some of these gloves just to kind of keep your hands clean, you know, if you can do that. And they were nice enough to send me out a box. So I'm gonna put a link down to these below in the description, but pretty cool. They sent them to me in black, orange, blue. Wow, that's not blue, that's green and blue. And yeah, these look really cool. And if you notice, like, actually the difference in height in the box, this is the normal size right here, and this is actually an extra thick glove. So I want to try out the extra thicks because that sounds kind of neat. As a quick comparison, this is just like a Home Depot glove that I usually use. Pretty stretchy, but I mean, it breaks, as you can see. This is one of these. How's the resistance on that?
That's way tougher.
Yeah. So those things are pretty cool. We're gonna try these out. Also, they have like texture on the grip, which is pretty sweet. These things look like they're gonna hold up pretty good. So we may only have to use one pair, whereas normally with these, I'm like always switching out a pair because I cut a finger off, not an actual finger, but just a blue finger. And
when these things get like greasy or oily, it's hard to hold on to anything, and I would imagine with all this texture it'd be a lot easier.
Yeah, so you guys will be seeing me using these more in all my videos, and yeah, pretty stoked to try these out. So just putting these things on, actually, like, it feels like a thinner dishwashing glove, like with texture, really good grip. They're gripped on both sides, so you know you got right and left. There's no right and left, so they're universal in that sense. Unless you have, even if you have two left hands, you're good to go. So that's cool. Yeah, wow. So cool. Let's install this stuff. Okay guys, so we got the driver's side mud flap, and what we noticed, we actually already installed the other side. So I'm gonna roll that footage and we'll show you how to modify this mud flap. If you don't need to modify your mud flap because you don't have a lifted car and you don't have big tires, in-depth little, I don't know, little tutorial on how to modify these and make them still look factory. So what we noticed when we first mounted up the front mud flap is that the tire was gonna hit a little bit on the initial lock of turning. So you can see this is the factory one right here. This is the one we just modified. It looks like we're gonna have to trim a little bit more. So Thomas, go ahead and crank the wheel. Yeah, you guys can see it's pretty much hitting right there. All right, keep going. And then also right there, it's pretty much rubbing. Yeah, it's actually hitting. So that's good, Thomas. Just stop there, crank it back. So we're gonna actually have to trim the inside of this mud flap. Now, this probably isn't gonna be an issue with you guys unless you're running, you know, big tires. These are 235/75 R15s on Method race wheels. And we also have a 1.5-inch lift on this car. So that actually, you know, helps out this situation because you couldn't run these tires without a lift. So I'm just gonna use a straight edge. I'm actually gonna take quite a bit off because I don't wanna rip these things off when, you know, we put in a bit of steering lock into this car because that's not gonna be fun. We're gonna kind of try to stay with the factory line here that they gave us. I think we should actually go a little bit farther down as well. So just a quick comparison of how much I've trimmed off since last time. I trimmed off even more, so you can see all of this. We're gonna go ahead and try to test fit this and see how it works now. We are clearing on that inside piece right here now. However, this piece still kind of hits the tires. So what we're gonna do is heat this up with a heat gun. I made a little makeshift kind of brake, if you will. This is just for the plastic. I'm gonna heat this up with a heat gun right here, and then bend this back. And what that's gonna do is it's gonna give it more clearance. We're also then gonna keep that plastic still there, so it's gonna give us a little bit more protection on the car. Okay guys, so we just did it like that. Now you can see that piece is pretty much bent over. We're gonna let it cool off and test fit it on the car. That is it with a little bend in it. We did it on the inside because as you can see, it kind of discolors the plastic. We did a little test on it at first. And then, yeah, that's how it looks right now. So that should give us more clearance for the wheel. So we're gonna try it on. Moment of truth here, let's try it out. Oh, much better, no noise. It is still pretty tight, but it looks really good. Perfect. So also that little piece that you cut out, you can put it on your car. Free canards. Sick. We'll just leave that on there. Gaffer's tape, canard, extra downforce.
2 for the price of 1.
Got the modified rock blocks. We've trimmed the inside. We've bent this inside piece as well. Then you're gonna need the Phillips screwdriver. Get the clip out from the little rocker panel right here. Use your Chingadera tool, pop that out. And now you can kind of pop out that rocker. You can kind of just pull down on it and then pull towards you. Pull towards you, there you go. Perfect. And then that gives you the clearance on the bottom of this to where then you can insert the clips that you need to use. These guys, we're gonna use those and put them on the inside of the fender well. Just clicking them on, it's really easy to do. It's a pretty simple install if you don't have a lifted vehicle. It really should take you, I don't know, probably an hour, maybe less if you're watching my video before. Now we're just gonna kind of tuck that back in there. Now the 2 smaller screws, those ones go in the 2 top holes.
This guy's a little
longer one goes in the bottom, but there's also a 5mm spacer. It goes in between the body. So you'll actually put it like that. That goes in between the body and the car. And then you just screw these in. It's pretty simple. You want to leave it a bit loose, that way you can adjust the fitment of this. So let's get them all kind of snug to the point where you can still make a little bit of adjustment. And then check the body line, make sure you like it, tighten them down, and you're good to go. Thomas is just making the fine adjustments here. And as you can see, that little bend that we put on there just makes it fit perfect. That way it doesn't hit the tire at all. So also you're gonna have extra clips. So what do you use these for?
You keep them because you break them all the time because they suck.
Awesome. So that looks really good on the side there. That bend, I mean, it just looks like it's supposed to be there. It doesn't look weird at all. It just follows the factory line, and it looks really good. So now we're gonna go ahead and move on to the rears. The rears should be much easier. However, we're probably just gonna go ahead and remove the tires. So for the back mud flaps, they say you don't have to take off the back wheels, but with these bigger wheels on here, we have even less clearance. All right. So that's everything for the back, right? We just got 3 screws, 2 clips, and the washers and the mud flap. The rears are really simple. I mean, really the fronts are simple. We just had to do a bit more modifications. Those clips on the inside of the fender well right there. We got one. And you can just kind of see the factory holes. We got the second one right there. It's a good idea just to kind of hand thread them to make sure you're biting into the back side of that clip. So now we're just using a 3/32 drill bit on the inside here. We're just kind of going to press on the inside and make our hole for our screw. Nothing additional goes on the back of this one. You just kind of screw it in and it'll really just hold itself in there. Make sure not to over tighten that inside one because you could strip it out fairly easily. So we're gonna go ahead and throw the tire back on. We're gonna do the same thing over on this side. Then we'll be done and kind of show you guys the final results. So verdict on the gloves, they were really awesome. I did tear it right here on just one hand. This hand worked very well. They feel super durable. I didn't really get sweaty in these at all, and yeah, I give them an A+. Definitely way better than any of the mechanics gloves I've used before. Well, I mean the temporary disposable type, right? Looks so good. So much lift on this thing. Tons of ground clearance. It turned out super good. Look at all the clearance in the back here, guys. That's freaking awesome. This thing just looks huge. Wow. What do you think of the rock blocks, sir?
So far, so good.
Yeah.
We'll have to actually take it out through some mud and snow, and at least they'll be protecting the paint a little bit more down the sides of the car.
You already have clear bra on this thing, right?
Yeah, on the whole front clip and up along the first like 3 or 4 inches along the sides of the doors. All done by Detail Maniac here in Sacramento.
Oh yeah, man's the man.
He is the man.
Cool. All right, well sweet. Yeah, looks awesome. Cruise is good. It's nice and smooth.
It's fun.
So thanks Thomas for letting me film another little install on your car. Really awesome. And yeah, make sure to subscribe, like, all that stuff, and we'll talk to you guys soon. Later, and wrench on.